Okay, this video is going to be talking a little bit about some self-evaluation during this COVID-19 quarantining process and this kind of uncertain time as far as how long we're all going to be cooped up inside our homes and kind of out of our normal workout flow. Bottom line, don't panic, okay? Yes, like things are not as good as they once were. I'm confident that we'll all be able to get through this, but during this time, it is your job to take a deep breath, understand that there's probably really hard things that everyone's battling through right now. And, you know, your training might have to tail off just a little bit, but we do not think you should let it go completely. We all know there are many different athletes out there. I know I work with a bunch of them. Ones that are probably trying to do too much during this, and ones that aren't doing enough, and everyone in between. So for the athletes that are starting to feel like they're using this opportunity as an excuse to kind of let all their training go, you've worked super hard to get where you need to go. Don't let it go now that it just becomes a little bit more challenging. And for those athletes that, you know, maybe it's time as maybe the world's giving you a little bit of a cue to kind of just take a little bit of a break, assess kind of how you've done over the last few months, and kind of reevaluate where you want to go for the future. You know, it's those overtrained athletes that actually might use a little bit of a break or might be helped by a little bit of a break. But by no means am I saying everyone should just chill and watch Netflix and not worry about their training. But a couple things that I know I've been talking about with Climb Strong coaches and people from all around and the athletes I work with are just a few things. Of course, there's some big things that are people trying to address in their own life that's going to inhibit their training. But once everything kind of gets to some sort of new level of normalcy, these are kind of the things that we've been thinking about as I've been talking to athletes. Don't panic, okay? I know we're living in a bizarre world right now. We know that things have kind of been put on hold. Yeah, you might not be able to go on your climbing trip, but you probably can't. And we're not really sure how long that's going to take. So we know even some athletes that we work with might not even be able to do a competition that they've been working for 2 or 3 years to hopefully try to qualify for the Olympics, right? Like these are devastating blows to goals that we've been working towards for a really long time. But the last thing you want to do is panic, right? Get yourself calm and collected, figure out what needs to be addressed, and then move forward. So addressing the essentials, right? We don't have access, a lot of people don't have access or limited access to normal training facilities like climbing gyms, lead walls, speed walls, access to crags now. It's starting to feel like all hope is lost, but we can still hang on our fingers. We can still do at-home body workouts. Do whatever you possibly can to continue your training, even at a very, very minimal load, to get yourself ready to hit the ground running when we can. And we can make stuff pretty hard. We can get super creative. You know, give someone a month of quarantining to get super creative in how they're going to train, right? Be creative. Pick up weird, awkward, heavy implements and move them around for your at normal kind of movement pattern training. Hang on door edges. Get a training implement like the Flashboard if you can. I know they're sold out right now, and it was awesome that they put up some sale codes. But yeah, do whatever you can to hang on your fingers. Let the ideal go. The ideal world go. We don't have access to the things we once had, right? Don't keep wishing about, oh, I wish I was at the climbing gym, or I wish I was on my climbing trip. That's really now all kind of come to incredible focus and fact. You've got to step back, let that go. We'll get through this together. And then also maybe it's a time to kind of just continue on your path of like, you're not really sure what you want to do. Do what you can, but start thinking about like setting goals during this phase of quarantining and this kind of uncertain time, but also plan off into the future. The climbing trips that we all have planned for the summer, the fall, they still might fall through, worst case scenario, right? But they might not. So we've got to continue to have that hope to work towards those things. Look off into 2021, 2022. I know that seems really far away, but the stuff you do now is the stuff that will play out then. So don't forget, even in a really upside down time, we should still set goals and look off into future goals. So take it for what it's worth. I think these things have become very apparent and important to all athletes. And also for athletes just getting into this and just getting into the sport, don't let this discourage you. It feels weird, but just keep doing what you normally do at just whatever capacity you can. Do not give up.